For Saul Canelo Álvarez, the undisputed king of boxing, one shadow looms larger than any other: David Benavidez. The Mexican monster has been relentless, vocal, and direct, making it clear he's ready to fight Canelo and that he believes the champion is actively avoiding him. And while the boxing world debates the risks, one of the sport's sharpest minds, Max Kellerman, has cut through all the noise. This isn't just another potential fight, it's about legacy. And Kellerman is ready to reveal why the one fight everyone thinks is Canelo's greatest fear is actually the key to his boxing immortality. Canelo Álvarez is more than just a champion. He's a phenomenon. He is the genuine Mexican golden boy.
The deck is usually stacked in his favor. Canelo is the golden boy first because he can fight his ever-loving ass off. When he was a teenager, he was a YouTube sensation, playing to packed houses in Mexico, there to watch him beat up grown men. Now, over a decade later, he's outboxing the rangiest and cagiest and outfighting the roughest and toughest in the whole wide world. Canelo was the golden boy second because as a top fighter of Mexican heritage, he has a built-in following. There is no larger nor more rabid fan base in the world. Thirdly, he's good looking, which plays to Madison Avenue, see his Under Armour endorsement deal. And with the red hair, he's got an unusual look, an Irish-looking Mexican prize fighter.
A title Max Kellerman doesn't use lightly, comparing him to the original golden boy.
For Saul Canelo Álvarez, the undisputed king of boxing, one name looms larger than all others: David Benavidez. The Mexican powerhouse is relentless, outspoken, and ready, claiming Canelo is dodging the fight. But beyond the hype, boxing analyst Max Kellerman sees the bigger picture. This isn't just another matchup, it's a battle for legacy. The fight many think Canelo fears could be the very moment that secures his immortality in the sport. Canelo Álvarez isn't just a champion, he's a phenomenon, the true Mexican golden boy. A title Max Kellerman doesn't hand out lightly, comparing Canelo to the original golden boy, Oscar de la Hoya. But while de la Hoya had to win over the hardcore Mexican fans, Canelo was born into their hearts. A flawless blend of slick defense and devastating offense, he's the modern embodiment of Mexican boxing greatness.
I thought he beat Trout and Jacobs close. Yes, I thought he beat Lara too. Thought if anyone deserved the decision in the Triple G rematch, it was Canelo. I ain't playing favorites. I agree he lost the first Triple G fight and got practically shut out by Floyd Mayweather the night one judge had it a draw laughably. But that's how it usually works with the network's house fighter, with the promoter's cash cow, with the A side, with the golden buff and willing to show it, and is not apologizing for the fact that he has those kind of James Toney level skills to hit you more than you can hit him. Cat slippery, slip punches and counter guy. There have been great Mexican fighters who were also big draws, like Julio Cesar Chavez and Marco Antonio Barrera. But until now, there hasn't been a genuine Mexican golden boy, the glamour fighter with crossover appeal and the biggest boxing star.
Canelo's appeal is a perfect storm: elite skill, an unbreakable bond with boxing's most passionate fans, and a marketability that stretches far beyond the ring. His resume reads like a Hall of Fame checklist, a true murderer's row of opponents. He didn't just face champions, he hunted nightmares. Aerials like Arislandi Lara, the Cuban southpaw so technical and dangerous that most fighters would have avoided him. Knockout artists like Daniel Jacobs and Sergey Kovalev? Canelo stepped up anyway, driven by a relentless pursuit of greatness.
Some people thought that Triple G won the second fight as well. I think Canelo showed some improvement, but it's also possible that Triple G might have slowed down a little bit.
I think so. The first fight I had at 9-3 for Triple G. That's how I scored.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and I gave the first 3 rounds to Canelo, and then I had it every round after for Triple G. This fight, I thought Canelo won. Close fight, and if you gave it to Triple G, I wouldn't have screamed robbery.
Right.
I
think Teddy was saying that he thought the Triple G won, but I felt like it's a pretty close fight. But certainly Canelo showed much improvement.
He did, and he fought a better fight.
While he navigated these challenges, many of those fights, including the first GGG bout, were razor thin, with critics arguing he often received the benefit of the doubt from the judges.
Brendan Schaub, I should say this before the decision gets announced, said that if Golovkin didn't win by some ungodly, lopsided beatdown that he could lose a decision because of corruption. He goes, because that's how boxing rolls, and there's way more money in Canelo winning. So that said, now that we know that,
Tecate sponsor.
that's true. Well, apparently the audience is like half Mexican. He's a superstar in Mexico. Just a superstar.
Who are you talking about?
Canelo.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see if Brendan Schaub predicted this correctly, because we think
It has to be Golovkin.
the unofficial scorecard guy had it for Golovkin by several rounds. We think it was Golovkin clearly, although Canelo fought it.
But no chapter defines Canelo's career more than his epic two-fight saga with Gennady Golovkin. For years, the public clamored for the fight, seeing Golovkin as an unstoppable Kazakh wrecking ball. When they finally met, the result was a controversial draw, a decision that left a stain on the sport and a cloud over Canelo's claim to supremacy.
Triple G's fighting on the outside, and little Canelo Álvarez is chasing him. Canelo is a 100% fighter.
As while he navigated these challenges, many of those fights, including the first GGG bout, were razor thin, with critics arguing he often received the benefit of the doubt from the judges.
I think it was clear. I think that the smaller guy backed up the bigger guy. See, a puncher like Golovkin, a guy who's made his living on coming forward, doesn't want to go backwards. That was Canelo's game plan from the beginning, and you have to give him credit for having the courage to stand in the lion's den to get his work off.
But when he was backing him up, Andre, Triple G was using a jab all night long, and it couldn't miss Canelo's face. What
I'll
about
put it
that?
like this. Most of the combinations throughout the course of the fight, Canelo led, Golovkin would tap him with a jab or maybe come back with a right hand, a left hook, and Canelo would also finish. He would lead and he would finish. So as a judge, I'm looking at that, and to me, if I didn't score round for round, I'm looking at Canelo and I'm saying that he has the momentum. He's dominating this fight. So you could have a close fight, but there could also be a guy kind of dominate. Like, man, it's subtle, but man, this guy has the momentum. Canelo.
Stung by criticism, Canelo did the extraordinary in the rematch. He transformed his very style, becoming the hunter instead of the hunted. He pressed Gennady Golovkin relentlessly, forcing the predator backward and claiming a narrow, brutal victory that cemented his status as, in Max Kellerman's words, a 100% fighter.
Ever see Julio Cesar Chavez in his prime? I'm talking about the daddy. I'm talking about one of the greatest fighters ever. This guy is the closest thing I have seen to a big Julio Cesar Chavez. David, I'm not putting the Chavez thing on you. I'm just saying, you're the closest thing I've seen to a big dude.
Stung by criticism, Canelo did the extraordinary in the rematch. He transformed his very style, becoming the hunter instead of the hunted. He pressed Gennady Golovkin relentlessly, forcing the predator backward and claiming a narrow, brutal victory that cemented his status as, in Max Kellerman's words, a 100% fighter.
Everything that's happening in my career, I'm in a great position every single way. I wasn't going to go down to 168, but now if Canelo wants to come up, then I got the WBC world title, 175. After I beat Bivol, I'm going to have all belts. So after that happens, now I'm the one who has the power. Now I'm the one. Canelo said he doesn't fight. He fights for greatness. He fights for titles. Well, let me go pick up all the titles.
In no uncertain terms, David Benavidez has declared to the world that Canelo is definitely scared of me.
So the way I've seen him handle my presence is he's definitely scared of me. If you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money. But Canelo Álvarez, as you can see from every time he fights a guy that's big with power, like Bivol, you know what I mean? And he's not able to suppress these fighters as much as he's able to suppress the little fighters. You know what I mean? So he sees a lot of things in me that he can't stop.
The discussion around Canelo shifted from debating his greatness to questioning whether he could eventually surpass the legendary Julio Cesar Chavez as Mexico's greatest boxer of all time. Kellerman suggested that to reach that level, Canelo might need to accomplish something monumental, such as dominating the light heavyweight division.
That's coming in big. Like, some people give him the weight bully title, things like that. Did you feel like his size played a factor in, the later rounds?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I mean, he's just, he weighs a lot. He's a big guy. He's a big frame, and at the same time, he's got a lot of boxing skills to go on top of that. Speed, his explosiveness. He puts his punches together well. So, he's got a lot going for him. you know, I don't want to really make any excuses. You know, he's a good fighter. That's why I wanted to fight him to begin with. You know, that's the goal, right? Like, if you say you're the best, that's to seek out the best fights possible and try to make.
While Canelo was busy building his empire, a rising force was quietly emerging in the shadows: David Benavidez. From a young age, Benavidez carried the burden of enormous expectations, with Kellerman once calling him the closest thing he had ever seen to a young Julio Cesar Chavez in the ring.
I know people are down on Canelo because he lost to Bivol, but Bivol was always bad for Canelo. Bivol was always the guy you'd put Canelo in with if you wanted to get Canelo beat. And I know Benavidez and Beterbiev, for that matter, are like these beasts, right? But man, Canelo, that's the type of fighter he is. He wants you to come to him because he's a natural counterpuncher. So I would say it's like James Toney, right? You want to beat James Toney back in the day, you go get Roy Jones, not just because he's great, but because he'll step around you, he's here, he's there, you can't find him. His feet are fast, he can get around you. But if you put Vasily Girov in with James Toney, great. Tony's just got Girov is an undefeated an Olympic gold medalist, world champion. But if you're going to just come at James Toney, he's going to counter you. And that's Canelo. Against Benavidez, against Beterbiev, I like Canelo's chances because they're going to do exactly what he wants them to do. And against a guy like Bivol, it's going to be tougher for him.
What about Beterbiev?
Same thing. Beterbiev with Canelo?
Yes.
Yeah, same thing with Benavidez. Beterbiev is going to go to Canelo. That's all Canelo.
I feel like Canelo's a fucking pussy. That's just my opinion. Because if we ever fight, the man is making well over $100 million. You know what I mean? If, let's say, he's saying that I don't have nothing to offer, that I'm nobody, that I need more experience, this and that. If you're gonna make $100 million fighting somebody that has no experience, that he sucks, this and that, all this shit that they've been talking about me, why would you not come beat my ass and collect a big bag on my head after the fight? Like, this is the same shit I'm doing with David Morrell. You know what I mean? It's the hardest fight, but fuck, I'm not scared of nobody. You know what I mean? I like I said, I embrace the challenges. So for Canelo and his fans saying that I don't bring nothing to the table, I don't do this, I don't do that, man, they're all scared, just like how he's scared. You know what I mean? And if he wants to come prove that I ain't shit, come prove it in front of everybody. It's that easy.
Groomed for greatness since age 3, David Benavidez trained under his father to dominate the ring. His style? Relentless, punishing, and unstoppable, a hunter who invites war. He's not after titles, he's after immortality, aiming to be the greatest of all time. But one obstacle stands in his way: getting Canelo Álvarez in the ring. And Benavidez knows exactly why it hasn't happened.
I'm not saying who necessarily wins, but that's fastball pitcher against fastball hitter. There's nothing cute there. One guy just wants you to stay there so he can come to you and do what he wants to do, and the other guy just wants you to come to him so he can do what he needs to do. Canelo just wants you to come to him. Oh, I got you now. And Beterbiev just wants you to stay right there. I'm going to come and get you.
David Benavidez has made it clear, Canelo is scared of him. This isn't empty trash talk, it's based on cold, hard analysis. He points to Canelo's loss to the bigger, technically skilled Dimitri Bivol as proof. Benavidez believes his speed, power, and will are a combination Canelo can't beat. With every fight, his confidence grows while Canelo's window to win shrinks. And with a reported $50 million offer allegedly turned down years ago, the math is simple. Canelo is a businessman, and this is a fight he knows he can't win.
Doctor News. Breaking news in the boxing world. Canelo Álvarez, the Mexican superstar, is out of the ring until mid-2026. Why? Elbow surgery after his loss to Terence Crawford. That's right, no fights for Canelo until at least April, maybe even September next year. But here's the real question. Is Canelo done? Some say he's been on the decline since 2022. Remember those fights against Berlanga, Skull, and Munguia? Critics argue he's been avoiding top contenders like Benavidez and Morrell. Now, about that Crawford fight, was it really a dismantling, or just another case of Canelo's stamina giving out?
But here's where Kellerman's insight flips the script. He sees a fight with Benavidez not as a risk, but as a guaranteed spectacle, pure fireworks in the ring, and, surprisingly, a stylistically perfect matchup for Canelo.
Well, Benavidez, you said he was not scared to fight anyone in the previous interview. A lot of the rumors and talk on Twitter say that Canelo's scared, he's old, David is young and hungry.
Canelo Álvarez will fight anybody. You got to pay him.
Yeah.
If they come up with the money, he'll fight Benavidez.
He'll fight Benavidez. Just
Andy, one last question. Canelo, hell of a fighter. But my personal opinion, he's ducking Benavidez. You know, that's just my personal opinion, and I'm allowed to speak my mind. That's just what it is. He's going up. He's going up to cruise, and I'm not knocking him, but he's going up to cruiserweight. And that same guy with that, he used to be at the Mayweather boxing gym. The guys really getting the best of him in the Mayweather boxing gym. So if he's going up to quote unquote cruiserweight, I mean we got a lot. Benavidez can go and beat that same guy. He could beat that same guy at 168. So he's not doing nothing, you know, like I said before. But when you are put in a certain position, he should be he's able to like me. You know, when I was in a position, I can pick and choose who I want to, because I earned that right. But do I like this fight? Absolutely not.
Kellerman breaks it down. Canelo is a masterful counter-puncher, a defensive wizard in the style of James Toney. He thrives on turning his opponent's aggression against them, punishing missed attacks with precise, brutal shots to the head and body. But fighters who stay mobile and keep their distance, like Bivol or Floyd Mayweather, have historically given him trouble, denying him the dance he wants to control.
Is now the right time for you to move up from super middleweight to light heavy?
But this is the right time to move up to super light heavyweight, because I've did everything I could do at 168. I've been there for 10 years. But the only other thing I had to achieve was, you know, fighting for the unified world titles, and Canelo Álvarez is holding all of them. So he doesn't want to give me the fight. You know, I've been mandatory for the past 3 years. I've done everything I could do to get that fight. I still haven't got it, so I'm not gonna wait around for nobody. I'm gonna go and make my own lane at 175, and that's exactly what I'm doing. My goal is to become unified world champion at 175, and just reign there, and then maybe go up to cruiserweight. You know, so I still have a lot to grow. You know, I'm 27 years old, so I'm still doing a lot in this sport. So I just want to.
Chavez is the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, and there's a lot of competition for that distinction. You know, Salvador Sanchez and so many others, Barrera, Morales, and everything. If Canelo were to clean out light heavy, for example, yeah, if he were to stay pound for pound best for 5, 6, 7 years, yeah. I don't know that looking back at Chavez, I'm not sure he was ever really the #1 best pound for pound fighter in the world. He was 1, 2, or 3 for a number.